Hi guys. Okay, so welcome to this episode, and thanks for everyone for watching this. And um, we know, right? Our pandemic is still going on, and we really need to appreciate all of our soldiers for this never-ending pandemic, which is our healthcare workers. And after gratitude them, let us look at one of the
As time went by,
videos.
Earth blossomed into a beautiful, natural vastness of green. Our human curiosity led us to discover its hidden beauty and its promise of the future. But in our strive to forward the human race, our Earth suffered the consequences of our choices. The pandemic has shown us what it is like to go through a dangerous emergency. That could happen if climate change accelerates.
So and actually it's about our Malaysian artist rate. Okay, and then it is posted in the Times paper and about the climate emergency. So it's actually a very beautiful artwork and inspired me. And yeah, actually we human being is the species that actually destroy the world after such a long time. And actually we know, right, disaster is happening here and there every day if we are concerned with the news. And I think if our human being, if our mind is not peaceful, then nor the earth. Means that if we don't have a peaceful mind, then our earth will not be peaceful ever after. So what we need to do and what we should do in this pandemic, and even after this pandemic, we are still going to do something to rescue our world, right? So I think everyone knows the first answer is about recycling. Okay, so actually recycling, right, especially during this pandemic, we got a lot of Lazada, but Shopee and something like that. So we need to recycle most of their things, but rather than throwing it out, right? So besides then recycling, right? Okay, if we know that if we don't recycling, then our world will be destroyed. Okay, if we besides the recycling, we also need to recycle our mind. This is how I enumerate it, because just like what I say, if we don't have a peaceful mind, then our world will not be peaceful, right? So it is very important in this point. And we know that climate emergency is already been reported about 50 years ago. Until now, every single day we still can listen to the news about climate emergency. So plant-based diet is the greatest environmental protection action. And what do we mean by plant-based diet? It means we reduce and we avoid the intake of the animal product like meat, sausage, hamburger, but now actually there are vegan burger now lah. Okay, and also like milk, eggs, and something like that. And we just choose like natural thing like vegetables, fruits, legumes like nuts, okay, walnuts, and tempeh, and then any other things, okay. besides than something that is alive before. Okay, so it is also one and a very big decision in everyday meal, right? So it is actually an action. Okay, it's actually an action.
Transportation sector. This means that raising cattle produces more greenhouse gases than all cars, trucks, trains, boats, planes combined, 13% compared to 18% for livestock. This is because cows produce a substantial amount of methane from their digestive process. Methane gas from livestock is 25 to 100 times more destructive than carbon dioxide from vehicles. Hydraulic fracturing for natural gas uses an incredible amount of water. A staggering 100 billion gallons of water is used every year in the United States. But when I compare this with animal agriculture, raising livestock just in the US consumes 34 trillion gallons of water. And it turns out the methane emissions from both industries are nearly equal. I found out that 1/4 pound hamburger requires over 660 gallons of water to produce. Here I've been taking these short showers trying to save water, and to find out just eating one hamburger is the equivalent of showering 2 entire months. So much attention is given to lowering our home water use, yet domestic water use is only 5% of what is consumed in the US versus 55% for animal agriculture. That's because it takes upwards of 2,500 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of beef.
There's every known environmental ill known to humankind. Deforestation, land use, water scarcity, the destabilization of communities, world hunger. The list doesn't stop. It's an environmental disaster that's being ignored by the very people who should be championing.
Free living animals 10,000 years ago made up 99% of the biomass. And human beings, we only made up 1% of the biomass. Today, only 10,000 years later, which is really just a fraction of time, we human beings and the animals that we own as property make up 98% of the biomass. And wild free living animals make up only 2%. We basically completely stolen the world, the earth, from free living animals to use for ourselves and our cows and pigs and chicken factory farm fish. And the oceans have been even more devastated.
Greenpeace's response reminded me of the statistic that 116,000 pounds of farm animal excrement is produced every second in the United States alone. That is enough waste per year to cover every square foot of San Francisco, New York City, Tokyo, Paris, New Delhi, Berlin, Hong Kong, London, Rio de Janeiro, Delaware, Bali, Costa Rica, and Denmark combined. UN reported that 3 coastal fisheries are overexploited, fully exploited, or significantly depleted due to overfishing.
The oceans are
And for 90 million tons of fish is primarily through massive fish nets. For every single pound of fish caught, there's up to 5 pounds of untargeted species trapped, such as dolphins, whales, sea turtles, and sharks, known as bykill. If we were to imagine this same sort of practice happening on the African savannah, targeting gazelle, but in the process scooping up every single lion, giraffe, ostrich, and elephant, nobody would stand for it. They breathe in CO2 and exhale oxygen. An acre of rainforest is cleared every second, and the leading cause is to graze animals and grow their feed crops. That is essentially an entire football field cleared every single second. And it is estimated that every day, close to 100 plant, animal, and insect species are lost due to rainforest destruction.
Most people in this country are aware of the influence of money and industry on politics, and we really see that clearly on display with this industry in particular. Most people would be shocked to learn that animal rights and environmental activists are the #1 domestic terrorism threat, according to the FBI.
Some people overpopulation. In 1812, there were 1 billion people on the planet. In 1912, there were 1.5 billion. Then, just 100 years later, our population exploded to 7 billion humans. This number is rightly given a great deal of attention, but an even more important figure when determining world population is the world's 70 billion farm animals humans raise. The human population drinks 5.2 billion gallons of water every day and eats 21 billion pounds of food. But just the world's 1.5 billion cows alone drink 45 billion gallons of water every day and eat 135 billion pounds of food. This isn't so much a human population issue, it's a human eating animals population issue. Environmental organizations not addressing this is like health organizations trying to stop lung cancer without addressing cigarette smoking. But instead of secondhand smoking, it's secondhand eating, which affects the entire planet.
We're growing enough food right now in the world, starving every single day. Worldwide, 50% of the grain and legumes that we're growing are feeding the animals. So they're eating huge amounts of grain and legumes. In the United States, it's more like closer to 70, 80, depending on which grain it is, about 90% of the soybean.
82% of the world's starving children live in countries where food is fed to animals in the livestock systems that are then killed and eaten by more well-off individuals in developed countries.
To feed a person on an all-plant-based vegan diet for a year requires just 1/6 of an acre of land. To feed that same person on a vegetarian diet that includes eggs and dairy requires 3 times as much land. To feed an average US citizen's high-consumption diet of meat, dairy, and eggs requires 18 times as much land. This is because you can produce 37,000 pounds of vegetables on 1.5 acres, but only 375 pounds of meat on that same plot of land. I also learned the comparison doesn't end with land use. A vegan diet produces half as much CO2 as an American omnivore, uses 1/11th the amount of fossil fuels, 1/13th the amount of water, and an 18th of the amount of land. After adding this all up, I realized I had the choice every single day to save over 1,100 gallons of water, 45 pounds of grain, 30 square feet of forested land, the equivalent of 20 pounds of CO2, and one animal's life every single day.
Yeah, so it says every single day. So we can do something every single day to save our planet and our future, right? And of course, there are
Transportation sector.
also
This means that raising cattle produces.
there's also another link below. Okay, so the full movie is given in the link. So maybe if you are interested, feel free, just go and have a look. It's very, very touching story and documentary. Yeah. And then we know besides then global warming, it also helps the world hunger. Okay, because if we use the crops that's grew, okay, for the animals to feed the animals that is fighting with hunger, okay, we actually can help a lot. But sadly, more than 80% of the children living in hunger, their country its own is growing the crops not for human being, it's for animals, because the wealthy people need to eat animals, right? Also reducing global warming. Okay, plant-based diet VS versus the food today. Okay, you can see the CO2 emission, water usage, and land usage is very, very a disaster. All right, and after that, it okay, someone says maybe if we don't eat meat, will we be still healthy? Of course. Okay, it has been stated by Harvard University and a lot of journal. Okay, we believe in science, right? So this BMJ, which is I think British Medical Journal, something like that, is a very well-known journal in medical society. So it states that one of the report is that actually plant-based diet can reduce the rate of turning into severe cases of COVID-19. Although they will get COVID, but they will be less, okay, far more lesser risk to get into severe cases. And also actually this kind of plant-based diet, avoiding animal consumption, is also associated with the prevention or also cure okay, I'm so sorry with my English. Okay, cure of the diabetes, heart attack, and also cancer, and also a lot of killer of the disease, right? So why is it so? Because our human beings actually, you look at our teeth, it is actually like this, right? It is not like the jaw of the cats or dogs or tiger nor lions, right? So actually our ancestor is born to eat fruits and plants and nuts, not the chickens and pigs and lamb, right? So if you put a baby chicken, or you just put a chicken between a baby with a cat, you look what is the next second, right? The baby will just go and sayang, will just go and hug the chicken, but the cat maybe will just scratch it and eat it. So our human being is actually born for plants, not for meat. Okay, so yeah, and it also awakens our spirit of compassion lah. Yeah, you know, right? It's so unfortunate that every single second there are 2,000 more than 2,000 of lives being slaughtered just for the sake of human beings. Okay, and for one day there are more than 220 billion of animals being slaughtered because of human beings. Okay, and there are more and more things happening. So we really need to rethink and redesign our diet. So how to eat a healthy diet is very important. Okay, we got healthy or unhealthy plant-based diet. We choose the healthy one, right? So we have to take more than, like, we have to take half of our plate is for vegetables and fruits, and then quarters is from grains like bread, noodles, and rice, and also quarter is legumes like tempeh, tofu, nuts, red beans, green beans, and whatever you can find. Alright, and also remember to take like vitamin B12, okay, and also have more sunlight. And what we can do, okay, we don't blame how dark the world is if we are not the one who is shining. We can do from ourselves, okay? And every meal is important, okay? So maybe you will think, hey, will my parents let me do this? Or hey, how will my friend react? Or hey, will this just a small little action help the world? Okay, I will tell you, all of this is actually our own conception. We need to take the right step from now on, okay? And we need to make our own choice for our own future and our own life. It is not other people that will design for our own life, right? So we need to do the choice ourselves. And actually, this diet is a kind of art. It is the art of minus, and we reduce some, but we gain a lot. We gain the love of this planet and animals. We gain the health of our own, and we gain the environmental health also for the future generation. Yeah, and if you don't know how to cook, or if your mother don't know how to cook, you can just join this Facebook page. There are a lot of course although it's in Mandarin based, but there's a lot of recipes here like nasi lemak or spaghetti, yeah, so thank you very much for looking this 15 minutes video, and I hope you have a nice day. Of course, this is not the end. You can make a difference and you can make an action every single day. Thank you.